Hello and welcome to Comics Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Hello, and thank you for coming to the show. And this is a special one because we're doing this as part of the Brighton Fringe Festival. So welcome, Brightonites.
Is that what they're called? Brightonians?
I'm calling them. Brightonians. We, of course, aren't in Brighton. This is a live show, part of the festival. We're doing it in the same place we have been, essentially, for the last 20 years, it feels like, live streaming the show. Yeah, we did it. We did it from home. We did the Edinburgh Fringe. Now we're doing the Brighton Fringe. And,
I feel like I've moved, though, because for anyone who watched like series 1, the first 30 episodes, we've done get on for 50 episodes now, but for the first 30 I was kind of doing it from that direction, and the angle has changed to this direction.
There you go. And I moved my filing cabinet around.
So big changes.
Big changes. And my hair has gotten long, short, and it's getting long again.
Yeah, mine's just lessened, but that's the way it goes.
My chin has been anyway. But this is a show where not only do we talk about our chins and our hairlines, but we talk about that a lot. We're comics who solve problems, basically. And when I say that we solve problems, we discuss problems that never get solved.
Yeah.
But what we've done with this, because it's special for the Brighton Fringe, is normally we've kind of gone back and looked at the ones that we've been solving recently and sort of picked our favorites, cherry-picked our favorite problems that we have failed to solve over the last of Series 2. So we're going to go through them in a second and just show they're our favorite bits. It's our best. It's like a best of.
Yeah. We're bringing the good stuff for Brighton. Heck yeah.
Bringing the good. But it does mean as well that regardless, we do continue outside the festival. So we've got the subscription link up there so you can do that. And during the show, if you think, well, we like the hard work that these two guys do, there's links where you could buy us a drink, or as we call it, food and sustenance now. So whatever it is, if we tickle your funny bones or any bone, if we tickle you in any way, you can do that. But yeah, we've got a plethora of things that we've enjoyed, and these are some of our favorite problems.
Do you know what a plethora is? So we're quoting from the Three Amigos now. That never quote from a film that is funnier than anything we'll do, because it's just going to make us look bad in comparison.
Yeah, it's dated now.
Yeah. But right, let's jump in with it, because for one of my picks for the clips for today's episode is it was meant to be good news. Look, it's been a tough year. We've talked about this a lot, how 2020 has been a shit of a year. In the top ranking of years, it's not going to be, it's barely in the top 2000, and in fact, it's definitely not in the top 2020, because all those BC ones were pretty good in comparison to this. But after all of our shows where we're talking about how bad it is to be living in this year, after all of the struggle, all of the issues that we have dealt with, we finally had some good news. A coronavirus! It's cured! Yay! We're free! Oh, we've done it. What's that? Cut the music.
What? Huh?
Let's have a look at it again. Russia! Darn it! Oh. So, Russia found a virus. Did they? Because actually, it was only 4 weeks ago that they were in the news for hacking us to try and copy our vaccine.
Yeah.
So when they say that they found the virus, did they find it in like downloaded files from the places they'd hacked? Did it end up going like this?
Hello, Vladimir. It's Sergey. Yeah, man with accent like guy from Star Trek. I've been going through the files we downloaded from the hacked computer at Oxford in England. There's something very promising. They have a folder. It's called The Cure. It's in a bigger folder called iTunes. Let's have a look. It could work.
So that was one of my favourite clips. Side note, not that anyone cares, that was the first time I started to use backing music in the filmic style clips.
Ah, look at that. So, yes, Steve has been a connoisseur over this series and Series 1 of playing with himself throughout the show.
And filming it.
Filming it, sorry. Yeah,
filming it and playing with myself. Which is why this tripod is now in the shot. So all the stuff up there, like the microphone and the tripod and the phone, that's what's used to make the show.
That's it.
I don't know why.
That's where the magic happens.
Care, but
And then do you make a different kind of show in the room with your bed in it? Different cameras?
Do you know what? There is no camera to show you that wall, but that wall now has a green screen on it. So I'll try to see if I can get you a picture of that. And honestly, before we started today, I was stood up there thinking, if I could plug that microphone and I could do like a reverse angle show. I don't know why, but no one's got any jobs anymore. So
well, if you could get a camera at 90 degrees, which we all know what 90 degrees is, when you go like this, spin around, with the green screen behind you, then you could go to that camera with the green screen behind you, and you could be anywhere. Yeah. Like, I'm going to report now from, Moscow. Turn to here, and you're in Moscow.
Oh, that's fantastic! And just because this chair's on wheels, just
yep,
yeah,
swivel. Do a transition fade thing.
You can swivel. What the hell? That took a turn.
Can you swivel? Can I not swivel?
Is that rude? Is that not what they used to say in Happy Days?
No, I think swivel's fine.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that was a squeak.
That's my chair, so actually maybe I can't use this cheap ass chair.
You'd have to, you got to WD-40 that shit up. What I do like is the fact that we haven't heard much about that Moscow vaccine.
No.
That was a while ago.
It's still apparently being developed. It still works in a similar way to the Oxford. So now we found out more about it. It works in a similar way to the Oxford one, in which they've taken a monkey virus. This is true. I'm not even making this up, right? If I was like, okay, I'm pitching a film. Imagine the Russians take a monkey virus and they program it to have a little bit of the protein from the coronavirus. It goes into the human body, produces lots of it. It's like Contagion, but with more monkeys. That's just true. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. You know what? I would watch that film. Except there's no cinemas to go to.
Very true. Only people releasing films is you and me, and the films are 30 seconds long, and it's us playing with ourselves, which is your phrase.
Dear. Right. There's been some other problems that we've discussed on the show in some other ways, and this is one. I mean, this kind of goes beyond. There's changes in the world happening, Steve. There's changes in people's roles in life, and this one in particular is a problem with gender roles. And the problem is, the exciting thing, before I set up the problem, is we have a vice presidential nominee for the Democratic Party, and that is Kamala Harris. Very excited about that, like a little Kamala. But the problem is, it's great to have a woman be the first woman of color to be on a major party ticket in the United States. Only the third time that a woman has been vice presidential nominee. We're not going to mention the last time was Sarah Palin. That went well. But there's a little bit more hope with this time. But of course, right now the numbers say that she could definitely be in office come January after the election in November, and that does create a problem for her husband, a man named Douglas Emhoff, who would become the first second lady, which is the title of the person married to the vice president. So here we've got a headline, a little picture of the couple here. Who is Doug Emhoff and Kamala Harris's husband? He's looking at, actually in that photo he doesn't look very happy. He's kind of realizing my title's going to be second lady, isn't it? What have I done? They've only been married since 2014. Little facts on Dougie. He's an entertainment lawyer.
We could do with one of those.
Yeah, it's all right. So he's financially set on his own, which is good. VP doesn't pay that much. And he has had a famous client or two. This is one of his most famous clients. We've got an image of that, which won't mean anything probably to the British audience. But that's the Chihuahua that was the representative of Taco Bell for a long time. So they have to give him, Douglas, something to do. So because of his experience with the Chihuahua and Taco Bell, he's going to be in charge of Hispanic outreach.
Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. It's an interesting dynamic between Kamala and Doug. She's pretty cool. I like her a lot. We've got an image of her. Here she is actually under pressure when someone stormed the stage when she was at a speaking event. This was before a few months back.
Oh dear. Hey.
Yeah. So that was her sitting down, and she sat there. She was cool. She handed him the microphone. No confrontation, not ruffled at all. She was a prosecutor. She definitely knows what's going on. Get to see a little bit of her husband's side here as this sort of situation unfolded. We've got a clip of that.
Thank you so much, sir, for your big idea.
Yeah, just pay attention here in a second. Now, this coming up here. Now, pay attention to the guy on the left in the suit. That's who we want to watch.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
See, there it is. Watch this moment. Look at that. Look at that. He comes in there, dives in, a little second lady action going on. And you can tell he means business, too, because someone caught this look on his face as they were throwing the guy out. Look at that.
Oh, he's not happy at all.
Yeah. I think that's the time he finally realized what his title was going to be.
Yeah. That's the look on a husband's face when a younger man goes near your wife. That's what it is. A younger hipster going near the wife.
Damn hipsters.
Tricky times for him.
Yep. Damn hipsters.
Damn hipsters.
Damn hipsters.
Dear.
Got him.
So this is the Brighton Comedy, another one of the Brighton Comedy specials where we're playing clips. If you wonder why suddenly our facial hair goes from what it was then to what it is now, it's so difficult to keep track, isn't it?
We changed the backgrounds a little bit different.
Yeah. Oh, on that, I don't know if my side cam's going to be... No, it's frozen on that. So I can try and show you. I took a picture of the green screen.
Ah, nice.
The corner of the room, and look at all the... Because I have to dress up in different outfits for all the sketches. So look at the flipping wardrobe department. Oh, it's gone. So yeah, you're up to date. You know what that wall looks like now.
Just got a flashback when you're looking at wearing all those different clothes and skins, as it were, to sort of a Silence of the Lambs moment with you there alone in front of the green screen, trying things on.
It is, yeah. But then you've done them as well, where you film yourself talking to yourself, and you've done it so that you film one half before you shave off like a month's worth of beard.
Yep.
And the other one, I mean, that is showing TikTok how you do it. That is raising your game.
Yeah, you don't want to give that away. There's techniques.
No, yeah. Oh,
It's techniques to these things. My twin brother gets involved.
Which is one of my favourite facts about the TV show Buffy. The guy who plays Xander had an identical twin. They didn't use it all the way through to like series 6, when there's an episode where Xander gets split into 2 versions of himself. So they just got his twin in. It was cheaper to hire the guy for a day than to try and use any CGI.
That's incredible. I mean, how annoying it would have been for him to be the twin all those years then of the show, when he I'm sure, recognized as his brother, the famous one, and be like, "No, I'm just here to take your order at McDonald's."
But then the guy who plays Xander, I can't remember his name right now, ended up, he had drink problems. The fame didn't go well for him.
Right.
Because he was so recognisable, he lost it, he ended up trashing hotel rooms. And what we've done instead on Comic Solving Problems is achieving no recognition, status, success, fame or money. And we don't really wreck hotel rooms. We can't afford to go to hotels.
You're not allowed to go.
And it's kept us grounded.
Yeah, it has. In other words, please subscribe.
Please chuck some money in the pot. We need to wreck something. It's not going to be a hotel room.
Remember when we used to go to Brighton for gigs? Actually go there? I mean, it's great to be part of the Brighton Festival, but we used to actually go to the Brighton Festival.
Yeah. Oh, so many great gigs down there. Yeah, God, I did a couple of the Some New shows down there.
Yeah, I did some... the Comedia.
Next year or the year after at some stage. We'll be back. We'll be back when we'll be back better.
That's right.
Meanwhile,
but only with your support.
Back to this show where we're playing our favourite clips from Series 2 of Comic Solving Problems as part of this comedy special. And there's been a theme in the show which isn't just about COVID. This one's COVID plus the other theme, which is if there's a story that's about sex that we could be rude about, we probably... Because it passes the time, doesn't it? So we ended up doing these jokes. And that is the story of how to do the sex during the coronavirus. Ooh. And this is the story he sent. Sex and coronavirus, how to have it safely. I guess that's sex, not have coronavirus safely. It's an odd way of phrasing it. But look, it's BBC News. It's Newsbeat for the kids. Again, bit weird. But it's on the BBC website. And that makes sense because if ever I want anything to do with more interesting sex tips, I always search for BBC. Anyway, and let's go through the article that Keith sent me just to see if we can learn something about... And this is similar to what you did, Eric, ages ago. There was one about how to have sex in New York.
Oh, yeah.
And that was early. That was like episode 9 or something. So finally, the UK has caught up. And this is the Terence Higgins Trust that's published advice to avoid kissing, wear a face covering and choose positions that aren't face-to-face. And it says, it may sound tough. It may sound better. You're kidding me, are you? You get out of kissing and you can still watch the telly at the same time. This is good stuff. The article then says, the best sexual partner during a pandemic is yourself. Let me stop you right there. Yeah, it is. Thank you, Terence Higgins Trust. I deserve the credit. Or someone you live with, which means that's going to be bad news for some mums and dads. I knew you should have moved out by now. So that's going to be an awkward conversation that some people are having. Then it goes on to say, masturbation, using sex toys, or participating in phone sex is the safest option. And do you know what? I think phone sex is the good option. And some people might not find it appealing. I think you just have to try more. Like earlier on, I managed to have some phone sex.
Oh, yeah. No, I like it. Yeah. Take it off. Yeah? Take it off. And what else? Take that off too. Yeah. And take that off too. Yeah, take it off, yeah. What's that? That leaves me with a plain margarita. Okay, brilliant. I got my card.
Keeping it classy.
I'm hoping you actually did that to your local pizza delivery people.
Because I commit, you know me, I'm all about the method acting. Can't fake any of this stuff. So, yep. And I had to eat a pretty dry pizza that evening.
Did you give the old, this is Stephen Allen, MASH report. I'm working on a new sketch.
No. What's the old, Stephen Allen, do you know who I am? You don't? Okay. Well, in that case, and just order even more stuff, as long as they're not going to chase me for the money.
Be a good way to do it. More ways to pass the time. That's what we say.
Yeah, COVID sex, the COVID era. And we actually, I think on a different show, we talked about, I wonder how many people would have lost their virginity in 2020 but haven't because of the lockdown. It's impossible to know the number, but it's an interesting concept.
Yeah. Well, you would think that there'll be a baby boom from the beginning of it, because usually there's baby booms after there's a crisis. And then when people were, locked up together. And then, of course, there's all those married couples that were locked up together. So they wouldn't have had sex.
It's bizarre, isn't it? The concept of a baby boom, just because people have nothing else to do. It's like, literally, there is nothing else to do. Might as well have sex then. That's the romance that we're talking about.
Although, to be fair, past crises didn't have Netflix.
Yeah.
So the Tiger King may have delayed an entire generation being born.
But I don't think there will be. I mean, the Tiger King has put a lot of people off a lot of things. I don't think there will be a baby boom, because people compare it to like baby boomers from soldiers coming home from the Second World War. So this is effectively rough. And let's not say like all women, but if women in general in these relationships, wives, worried about their husband never coming home, hadn't seen him for ages, and these husbands come home after fighting bravely to protect the nation, and then they were like, get inside me. Whereas now the husbands have been sat on the sofa being jobless day in, day out, not bothering to wear clothes on the lower half.
Yep.
Nothing's happening. No one's like, oh, I want myself some of that. So just my prediction.
Just a prediction. Well, you've been pretty spot on with most of these things.
Yeah. As long as you don't measure it, yeah.
Right. So in case you caught us midway, we're here as doing special comic solving problems as part of the Brighton Fringe. We're doing a look back at our favorite stories from season 2. And if you want to see more, you want to see the whole episodes, the subscription link is there and everything else. And if you like what we're doing, there's links to chuck us a drink and that kind of thing as well, because we are still essentially unemployed. But we've cherry picked, Stephen, some of our favorite problems that we've tried to solve over the last few episodes. And this one is kind of a theme. So that, the first problem I reflected back on was about gender roles today, but this is actually a problem with gender reveals. It's my turn to talk about a problem, Steve. And this is a big one that you haven't had to face yet, but I've had to deal with a couple times, is that when you're having children, how do you find out what their gender is going to be? And in America, we have a way of doing that.
Yeah, I got an idea. Is it a penis?
No. Not
so
anymore.
old school.
This is the way you do it in America. You start a forest fire. California wildfires. I think everybody in the world has seen this now. Gender reveal parties are blamed for the fire. Now, this is something I've already been aware of. Did you heard much about these gender reveal parties before this story broke?
Only like a few stories recently, and it's never been done in a good light. No one seems to be saying nice things about them.
It's not something that when I left America 20 years ago, it wasn't a thing then. When I was born again, many, many years ago, we didn't have these. But basically, it's a party where you get the family together and you get like container, and then you look inside the container and it's either a pink thing in the container or a blue thing in the container, because generally the parents who are doing this are not woke. They don't put in purple. This is old school, and they say what the gender is, right? And didn't do that 20 years ago. I think it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, except for my sister had one for my nephew just about a month ago, and it was beautiful. I'm gonna love that little guy. But I mean, and 20 years ago they didn't do this. When I was born, they didn't do this. When I was born, the gender reveal was when I came out of my mother's vagina. And you often film these things and put them online.
Ooh.
Not recommend. So there's lots of ways that they do it. It isn't all just about burning down half of California. And you can go you can see one of the ways you can do it is you can do a balloon, right, where you like pop the balloon or something like that, and what's inside, or maybe the color of the balloon. So remember, pink for girls, blue for boys. Very simple. Here's an example of a balloon gender reveal.
What's the red?
That is definitely a woke family. I think it's like the Hindenburg way of doing it. Just let it burn.
Also a bit late because the kids stood right there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you bring the whole family. I mean, for my sisters, everybody was there, and it's COVID going on, so I think they were trying to get rid of some of the great grandparents. Chalk. So chalk is a way to find out where you have like sticks, it's like a cannon stick where you pull the cord and chalk will spray out, again, blue or pink or whatever. Here's an example of a chalk stick being exploded.
2, 1.
Congratulations, you're having an only child.
Yep, that is exactly what's happening there. I think that's sorted. Clearly, she did that on purpose. It's the way we do vasectomies in America as well. We know about the fire. Now we know about this famous firework that caused the fire. Now that is not the only time they've done fireworks. That's a common way of doing it. Here's another example.
Gender reveal parties in Basra.
I mean, I'm surprised there aren't some families that do it with like pink and blue bullets.
It's America after all.
It is America after all. But one of the most popular ways when you start looking at these videos that people like to do it is with a cupcake. And so you bake in the cupcake, the pink or blue or whatever, and then you take a bite of the cupcake, and then it's revealed, and it's actually kind of sweet. You often like if you've got older siblings, they take a bite out of the cupcake and they find out what their little brother and sister is going to be. It's really sweet. Here's an example of the cupcakes.
Guys ready?
Oh, there it's going.
Here you go.
Let's see who finds out first. It's a girl?
I don't know why they had so many cupcakes. I don't know if they're having quintuplets. What was going on there? So it's really sweet because then this is captured for forever on video, where you find out what your little brother or sister is going to be, and then when they get older, they can look and find out what they thought the first time they heard about what you were going to be and everything else. And so it captures the reactions, like this brother and sister here.
What's wrong? Is it a girl? Keep eating. Keep eating.
What I like is the little girl is just keeping her head down. She's like, I'm just eating this cupcake. I'm getting this. I mean, let's be honest. This was going to be the third child in the family. And Steve, I think we know the third child is never welcome.
Yep. Yeah, but we just turn up anyway.
Yeah, is that? Oh, sorry, Steve. What child were you?
I was the finishing the hat trick.
You were there. I mean, I feel bad because the third kid there, you've got the older brother crying about it. There's going to be complaints because the last kid. I mean, you're the one that never gets any pictures either. Nobody takes pictures of the last baby. I mean, the only picture we have of the youngest in my family, there's 2 pictures, I think, and one of them is a mugshot. So. Pretty much it.
That happens to third kids a lot as well. Yeah.
That happens to third kids a lot. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, we shouldn't even have highlighted these gender reveal fails because they are funnier than anything we've ever written. I mean, this is the cat video extraordinaire. Yeah. There are hours of these online. I spent about an hour and a half researching this show. I just was like, maybe I could have the balloons, because there's balloons that don't, explode properly. Dust goes in people's faces. The reaction of it's just, and sometimes they get the colors wrong, and then they go, it's a girl, and then you hear somebody in the background go, oh shit. So, shouldn't have shown you these.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm glad you did, though. They were flipping. I love rewatching them then.
There's hours of them. Just especially the reaction when the gender goes wrong for for one of the children, not for the parents.
Yeah, because you shouldn't really care. Yeah. It's not like there's a one-child policy. But
I mean, I told my dad that we did this bit, and because it doesn't look like he's watching the show, and thanks, Dad. And he's like, because we don't do gender reveal parties in the UK. It's just not a thing. And he's like, really? You don't do them? And he's been to loads of them. So it didn't exist when I left 20 years ago. This is what happened. I leave America, and I come up with this bullshit.
This is what I don't get, right? I don't know why society hadn't spotted it yet. You're being conned into thinking there are more reasons to celebrate because you have to spend money to celebrate things.
Yeah.
That's when I was growing up, and this is now welcome to two old blokes moaning about things in comparison to what they badly remember from when they were younger. But you would get fireworks in the UK, bonfire night. That was it. Guy Fawkes. Which, I know you've got some issues with about the sentiment of, you think it's odd that we celebrate someone trying to blow up Parliament, but, take another look. Does it seem like such a bad idea?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there used to be that. One night, fireworks. Now, every flipping celebration, there are fireworks involved. Yeah. It's just, you're literally burning money.
It's just not special anymore.
And then Clinton's cards. That is some Illuminati level crap happening there.
No,
have a card. But that's the thing you do. Only reason people are sending anything. This is the time. This is a year when to lick something and send it in the post should be considered a death threat. That is, it's attempted murder. And yet somehow still people are buying cards.
No, I mean, the other weird thing about Bonfire Night is the burning of the effigy, which is just a surreal experience. Especially because the local one that they have is put on by the church, which is associated with my children's primary school. And when you gather all the kids, like, come on, kids, come on, we're gonna burn a human figure, and you're all gonna cheer. Yay!
Yeah.
We're celebrating human sacrifice. Yeah.
It's one of those things, if it happened in a foreign country, we're like, oh, savages. I wonder how far you could take it here, because down in Lewis in East Sussex, which is not too far away from Kent, which means it's in the local news every year. They pick the celebrity that they burn, and they do a huge version of it. And you could go down there and go, yeah, let's burn an effigy of someone. Yay, let's burn someone who's in the news. Lay, I got a flag. Who wants to burn this? Oh, apparently that's too far. Where do you draw the line, really?
That's right. Question. Well, we're doing this part as Brighton Fringe. It's not far from Lewis.
Yes, that's true. We don't want to lose our main core audience. So yes, there's the Brighton Fringe comedy special that we're doing, like a slightly different version of comics solving problems. Looking back at the last series, it's all available on YouTube. The link's there. A lot of it's available on Amazon Prime if you really want to have a little search.
Yeah,
and
right.
This next bit, one of my clips that I've picked, because I've just got angry about Clinton's cards. So I was going to say it's so rare for me to get angry and rant. Turns out it's really not. Package starts like this.
Hundreds have gathered here in front of the Washington County Administration building calling for the end of a mask mandate, saying they are tired of not living their normal lives.
I realise there's some hypocrisy I'm about to lay into them. I'm not wearing a mask right now. And I should point out I'm not wearing a mask for medical reasons because I've got glaucoma or whatever it's called. No, wait a minute, that's why I smoke pot. No, wait a minute, that's not me. That's every character in every comedy film from the 90s. I do get confused because I confuse myself with them quite a lot because I do smoke a lot of pot. No, that's them again. I've done it again. But the question is, what are these normal lives that they just can't wait to get back to? Let's have a look at the caliber of people we're dealing with. No more masks! Muzzles. Oh, the muzzles again. We've covered this so many times. There's a difference between a mask and a muzzle is put on something to stop it biting. So if you're going to leave the house and bite someone, put a goddamn muzzle on. If you're that much of an idiot you can't comprehend the difference, maybe think about having one of those plastic cones around your neck to stop you licking your own balls as well, you idiot. Then they interview some of the people at the protest. Let's see what kind of intellects we're dealing with.
The flu kills more than coronavirus.
Thank you, Professor. I mean, he's right. In terms of absolute figure, the flu has killed more. The flu that's been around for absolutely ages has killed more people than the novel coronavirus. But also, I suppose you could say that smoking in the UK killed about 7 million people a year over the last couple of years. Driving or driving-related fatalities, less than 2,000. So smoking kills more people than driving. So take that seatbelt off. Go on, knock yourself out, literally. You will still die, but you'll barely move the needle statistically. And that's what that kid seems to care about for some reason.
Virus a hoax, or stating that asymptomatic carriers simply do not exist.
They say that asymptomatic carriers do not exist. And why do they disagree with science so much? As I understand it's probably them thinking like, well, if I don't see it, then I don't believe it's true, and that is my right, a right given to me by the Lord mighty above, for which there is no evidence but in which I believe.
When George Floyd was saying, I can't breathe, and then he died, and now we're wearing a mask, and we say, I can't breathe, but we're being forced to wear it anyway.
Oh my God, anyway. Is she thinking her plight is anywhere near that of George Floyd? That somehow they are comparable? He said he couldn't breathe, but you know what? He couldn't breathe. You're saying you can't breathe, but you know what? You can breathe. How are you not getting this through your robust head? Does she think she's going on some kind of thick lives matter protest? Because, so she made me angry. Thankfully, there are other idiots there to say other stuff that just tickles me with how stupid it is.
I'll tell you another reason I hate masks. Most child molesters love them.
Oh, I love that. Most child molesters. So she's done surveys.
What else child molesters like? Sweets.
That's true. So ban. Actually, flipping, let's do it. She says ban the mask because the child molesters like them. Ban them. You say ban sweets because child molesters like them. Ban them. Can we think of anything else that child molesters really like? Kids. So sorry, son. I'm afraid if you run with a mob, at some point that mob is going to turn on you. Yeah, I got angry in that episode.
That kid at the end, he looks like he spends a lot of time at gender reveal parties.
Just being upset about what his sibling's going to be.
Whatever line his parents have fed him. Oh, those are my people.
Yeah, heck. But I'd love to know, because we've talked about this as well. Those people, those Trump supporters who are like, don't wear a mask, it's all a hoax. What are they thinking now? We've not really had an update. Look, we live in a time where no one's going to back down and go, do you know what? I was wrong. Yeah. Somehow you were right when you were when you were saying the total opposite to what you're saying now. People want to be right in both situations. And I think I'm just done with people.
I saw a headline today where it said that centrists, which both of us like to consider ourselves to be, are more inclined to support the idea of an I can't say the word authoritative leader. That centrists are more likely to go, you know what, just rule us. And I think
I understand that.
True, because we can see, based on clips, and the problem we're going to come up with, the next one is going to demonstrate it as well. People don't deserve to rule their own lives.
I've often said the big problem with democracy is that you let people vote, because there used to be a channel on cable called The Box where people could call in and request a song. And the shit they played. Just let me know. You should never let people be in charge of anything.
Yep. No question there. I'm sure we've won over everyone at the Brighton Fringe now with that. We've been looking for an angle to make us controversial. This could be it.
Yeah, just don't
End
like
democracy
people.
now.
End democracy.
That's what we vote for. Will you?
And don't worry, we've achieved nothing so far in the 2 series of this show we've done, so don't actually worry that we'll bring down democracy. But it's just nice to have an angle.
It's an angle. Yes. So thank you for joining us during our Brighton Fringe special, where we're recapping some of our favorite bits from season 2. This one kind of actually feeds nicely off of the problem that you just discussed, Steve. It's a problem with people's views on coronavirus. But this one is very specific, because this is a problem with bikers. And that is the problem of the coronavirus as well, but in a different way, because America's handling it differently. They're not coming up with a fake vaccine in America. They're just now deciding, some parts of it anyway, to ignore the virus altogether. And that's happening in a place called Sturgis, South Dakota. And we've got the headline here. Basically, it's a motorcycle rally where bikers in a town of a population of about 7,000 are descending from around the country, 250,000 bikers. What could possibly go wrong, Steve? If you live in a little village in the middle of fucking nowhere and you're thinking, well, we're safe from the virus, you know what? I'm going to stop myself, because I'd written a whole bit about taking the piss out of these people and Trump supporters and everything else. And I thought, we kind of do that a lot. You know, we've got the liberal bias and whatever. And I didn't want to do that. And so I wanted to make the effort to kind of reach out to people who maybe are, you know, look at these things differently. And so I found someone who's actually a Trump supporter who's at the rally, and I couldn't get the times to work to call them live, unfortunately. So I called and recorded it earlier today, and I just wanted to bridge that gap, Steve. And so here we've got the call. If we can play it out, here's a conversation with me and someone named Biker Bob. Hi there. Thanks for agreeing to talk to me today.
Hey, no problem. Good to be with you. I got time, because we're here in South Dakota, and there ain't nothing to do in South Dakota once you get here except to polish our spokes, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I think I do. Now, there are 250,000 people there at this rally. Aren't you worried about COVID-19?
No way. I mean, I'm fine. I got lungs of steel. I've been riding bareback and sucking on a tailpipe all my life.
I'm not sure that means what you think it does.
No, it does. I mean, anyways, this ain't that bad, right? This is just a plandemic, meaning it's a plan put on by the Democrats. You see what I'm saying? It's a plan by the rats in the Democratic Party. Yeah, and it's because of that jokey Biden. You see there? I said jokey instead of joke. And now he's got that Kamala Harris, as in she's gonna harass Mike Pence.
Do you think Kamala Harris is a good pick for VP?
Well, actually, you know what? I actually think that she's pretty badass. Look, if I can be honest with you, I don't really mean all the things I say. I know Donald Trump is lying. I know COVID is real. I just want to fit in with the other guys. You know what I mean? I even voted for Hillary in 2016. I'm just telling you, there's just something about her. Every time she wore one of those pantsuits, I just really wanted to get in there.
All right. I think we'll leave that right there. Thanks. I do appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Thanks. Bye. You know, I don't think he was really in Sturgis.
Loved it. I mean, that is one of the sketches that I think has aged really, because there are some sketches, like we mentioned previously, how one about the proms, no one cares about those stories anymore, but every single line of that is still like, yep, people are still on those issues.
Yep. And the good news is, as well, I've gotten a proper green screen now. So, because that was a purple green screen on Zoom and my hat kept disappearing. Yeah. So we've had a version of Biker Bob back for another show. It was the one on the, if you want to go back and watch it, I'll tell you when it was. It was just on whatever day.
Last Tuesday?
6th of October?
August.
I don't even know when it was. Is it still March?
Feels like it. So in that one, you did the joke about it being a plandemic instead of a pandemic, which is good. You know, that is what they say. You played a clip last Tuesday of the woman who called it a scamdemic.
Yep.
And these people think that if there is wordplay, it proves they're right. This is what I don't like about conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
They think punning means something.
What if they call it a flandemic?
Exactly.
Because the government's cooking up something. We could do this all day. Do a whole episode of this.
It's a brandemic because it makes me go to the toilet more. I don't know what. Yeah.
That's the flu.
That would explain it. COVID bowel.
COVID bowel. Right. Well, I think we're getting close to the end of this episode where we're doing as part of the Brighton Fringe. But we are thankful that you're here, and we're here every Tuesday and Thursday, part of the Fringe. And also, you can subscribe to see us the rest of the time. Oh.
And you can chuck some money in our pot, find the link, and...
Because I got to pay for that green screen, kids. It was not cheap.
Yeah.
Because I ordered one from a website called Wish, which is you wish your order will come. And it didn't, so then I had to order from a proper website. It's here now.
You say proper website. Is it the one that keeps sending you sex toys?
No, it's a different website.
That's all right then. And yeah, my green screen, I got to pay for that, but it is cheap.
Yep.
That actually really was just a cheap ass one from a cheap website. So another problem that we solved. We didn't solve another problem that we talked about. One of my favorite little sketches to record was this was. And it's still going on about the moment. The issue of should you dob in your neighbours if you see them breaking things like the rule of 6. They've tightened the rules, and then the question of whether you should... Because back when it was the original lockdown, you could report your neighbours, but it was frowned upon, and we had this sense of community. We were clapping for the NHS. Whereas now, it is like trying to find anyone who's breaking a rule and dob them in. So we looked at the kind of people who would do such a thing. Priti Patel. She would call the police if her neighbours broke the rule of 6. But to be fair, she'd call the police if someone was doing counter-terrorism, which means she's going to have a big phone bill. She's going to be making a lot of phone calls on that.
I would hope so.
I don't know if I'd call... It just feels like you're being a snitch. It just feels like, oh, you're dobbing people in for it. I don't know. Because I'm not the kind of person who does that kind of spying on people, but we all know there's a certain type of people who will very much be enjoying this new rule.
Can I just say hello, thank you for coming to this Neighbourhood Watch meeting. I just want to address a few issues. I know there's been a lot of discussion about whether we should report people for breaching the rule of 6. Some people find that might be spying on our neighbours, but I would say we are the Neighbourhood Watch. Spying on our neighbours is our raison d'etre. So I, for one, will be reporting people for breaching the rule of 6. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Thank you, David. It's 2 of us.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Thank you. 3.
Yep.
That's 4.
Yeah, I'll do it.
That's 5. Oh dear.
Yeah, I'll do it.
6.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
I mean, it's a simple joke, but
Yep.
got the point across, probably.
And that's,
about
I mean, that
hypocrisy.
was a day you played with yourself more than any other day so far.
Yes, there has never been another sketch where there's been 7 Steves in it. Mainly it's just 2, sometimes 3, but it's the truth. There is one sketch where I was split screen. I was on both. Maybe we'll play that next episode.
There we go. That was a good one as well. The tech gets better and better, but I have to wait to do my characters until my beard grows in.
It makes it difficult for you.
So we won't see Biker Bob or whatever I called him the last time on the 6th
Billy Bob.
until.
Billy Bob.
And the problem is that this is. I mean, I haven't shaved since then, and it just.
Oh, that's a week's worth of growth.
Or more than a week's worth of growth. Yeah, it doesn't happen. I mean, I grow somewhere else.
Back, yeah. So if you do regularly watch Comic Solving Problems, enjoy those Billy Bob sketches because they're rare.
They're rare.
All I do is put on fake glasses for mine, and the weird thing is, so I used to wear glasses that looked like those glasses, and then I had laser eye surgery, so I didn't have any glasses, and went out and bought non-prescription ones that looked like the old ones, just on a whim because I was bored and I was working loads, so I thought I'd just spend some pointless money, and finally it comes in useful. I've got these glasses for little props.
We used to you were into your glassing, pushing up, and sort of you used to have little gestures with your glasses.
Yeah.
Keep going.
When I got the reason I got lasered is because I hated standing on stage when the lights would just hit it and the top of the frames would cast a shadow in the eyes and no one could actually see you. And I think that was my excuse for why I was dying on my arse a lot. So I went and got lasered. They didn't change, but I just lost that excuse.
Yeah.
Right, so there's some of the clips. We'll do another episode on Tuesday where we play some of our favourite clips, all part of the Brighton Fringe Festival, the Brighton Festival.
Yes.
But before we go, we get loads of lovely emails from a man that we entitled our correspondent, Philip Brennan. And he's been sending us some news stories. I've got another one loaded in that we can just chat about. Look, he sent us this one. I know you've not seen this story, Eric, so there's the headline. German prostitutes furious over sex work bans amid COVID-19. They are complaining that they weren't allowed to work.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of understandable, I guess, because social distancing makes it somewhat difficult. Yep. I mean, look, we're in the same boat. Well, I mean, not exactly the same boat, but our careers have also been hit hard, like the sex worker careers.
Yeah.
And, you know, Rishi's telling us that we need to retrain.
Have you got your microphone, your kind of stand-up type microphone handy there?
No, sorry. I took it to a gig recently.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know, you think about us and prostitutes. Very similar.
It's only a couple of inches away, isn't it?
Just one step.
Let's not picture it too much, though. Oh, God.
Oh, God. But basically, we're going to all have to retrain, is what I'm saying. So you can imagine, again, what that conversation at the job center is going to be like. So tell us about your prior position.
Many positions. So Rishi is saying that we need to retrain because they've ruined our careers and now it's our fault. And I don't know if I could retrain. I tweeted the other week, like, I faked up a book cover that was called An Unemployed Person's Guide to How to Build a Wind Farm, because it's the only job that's going to be going. And I don't think I've got any transferable skills. Even if I work in the service industry, right? I've spent 15 years being a stand-up comedian. If I work as a barista, you're going to have to listen to a tight 5 minutes of my wry observations about the sizes of cups in a coffee shop. What's the deal with the one with the two handles? If you can only deal with a sippy cup, maybe you're too young for caffeine. Am I right? Who's with me? No one wants to have to sit through that.
Which is a very subtle way of Steve saying he's going to put the suggestion for you to buy us a drink clip on. There you go.
Trust me, it's better for everyone if you just give us some money now than you have to try and be served by people like us.
Have they banned sex work in the UK?
I think it's illegal anyway. That's the other angle on that story, is that they're complaining about COVID banning something that I think you're not allowed to do. I don't understand the laws. There was a Radio 4 documentary about how it's not illegal to sell your body, or to rent it, I guess is what you do. Rent it out, hire it out. But it is illegal to run a brothel, which means if a sex worker hired an Airbnb and went to that Airbnb for a weekend of earning some money, it's the person who rented out the room who's breaking the law.
Oh, okay.
So do what
so
you
you're
will
saying
with
I
that.
should become a pimp?
An Airbnb pimp.
Air pimp.
Air PNP.
Solve our problems.
An Air PIMP, if we're going to quote some 50 Cent, which we always do.
Comic solving problems. We're solving our own problems this episode. There we go.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you've enjoyed any entertainment that we've tried to cram down your internet wires for you over the last however long, it would be very much appreciated if you could do the equivalent of buying us a drink. If this was the end of a show in a bar in Brighton, you'd come up to us and say, could I buy you a drink? We'd be like, yeah, but we'd prefer the money.
Yes. Well, I like to drink, but money's fine too. Subscribe either way to the YouTube channel if you can. And I think if we reach the end of this episode,
I think we've done everything we need to do. Yeah.
There we go. Right. Well, we'll be back again shortly, and 9:00 in the UK every Tuesday and Thursday. And thanks.
Yeah. Till then, bye.